Bienvenidos.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Welcome.
Buenas tardes, buenas tardes.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Muy buenas tardes a todos. Welcome. Hopefully, everyone is having a really wonderful day. We're really excited to be here with everyone. We're allowing some people in. And so, as soon as we've got the majority of those individuals, we'll go ahead and get started. But thank you all once again for being with us. Okay. All right. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Mara. Thank you so much for joining us today to learn more about Foundation. Foundations is Latinos for Education, new 6-week leadership experience for educators and champions of education, those who are committed to Latino student success. Today, we are going to spend some time together to walk through the program, who it's designed for. So we'll talk a little bit about who we designed Foundations for, what the experience is going to feel like, and how to apply. And if you are interested, how you can bring others along this learning journey with you as well, so that we can all learn together. Buenas tardes a todos, bienvenidos. La sesión o el programa del día de hoy es para hablar sobre nuestro nuevo programa de Foundations, así que muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos. Si están en el espacio correcto, muy bienvenidos. Si no, les comento por si no estaban seguros de qué se trataba el tema. Muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos y comenzamos. My name is Mara Gilliard, and I'm the Director of Leadership Programs at Latinos for Education. I have been with the organization for 4 years and have served in different capacities. I was a community organizer, worked with the advocacy team. I also had the opportunity to oversee the programming in the Houston region. And then now I work with the programs at the national level. I'm going to hand it over to my colega so that she can introduce herself as well.
Hi, everyone. I am Elvira Salazar. I'm excited to be here with you all today. I'm based out in Houston, Texas. I have been with the organization now for about 4 years and have served also in different capacities. Most recently now doing a lot of the leadership development work. And again, just thanking you for spending time out of your busy schedule to learn a little bit more about foundations. And I'll pass it back to my colega, Mara.
Gracias, Elvira. We would love to hear from you and see who is in the room. I see some familiar names from some alumni, so thank you so much for coming back to us and always trusting us with your learning experience and your leadership experience. Please, in the chat, we would love to hear from you. Tell us your name, where you are joining us from, and then we would love to hear in one word or one phrase what has brought you into this space today. So we'll take a couple of minutes to read through some of those responses. Bienvenida, Jessica from Chicago. Curiosity, I love that. Mark, welcome. Nina from San Diego. That's right. Mario from Nuevo Mexico. Thank you all so much. I see opportunity to continue growing, supporting students' advancement, connection and community, professional development. And all of those reasons are excellent reasons. Curiosity, I'm glad that brought you here today as well. Those were all things that we were hoping to see because the program that we've been designing over the past couple of months, and we've worked very intentionally to bring all of those experiences into Foundation. So today we'll talk a little bit about that experience that you would get to experience, that you will get to feel as a member of Foundation. So I'm really, really happy to hear that. Welcome everyone. from all across the country, and it is great to be in community with you this afternoon. Let me show you what the agenda is going to look like. So over the next 40 minutes now, we will spend some time talking about why Foundations was created, who it was created for. We'll talk about the learning experience, the journey, a little bit about the content and the modules that we will be discussing during the 6 weeks. We'll talk about the time commitment and how you can apply. And again, if you're interested in nominating someone that you believe should also be a part of this experience, we'll share the opportunity so that you can share Foundations with them as well. And then we will leave some room and space at the end of our call to answer questions. However, if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I don't know if there is a section for you to submit some questions anonymously. I think you should have access to that. And if you prefer to do that, then that's wonderful. We will answer questions at the end, but also if we see anything that resonates and that we can embed naturally along the way where appropriately, we will make sure to do that as well. So, okay, with that, let's continue. So why Foundations? We wanted to kick off explaining why we've created Foundations and why it's different and why it is different than our previous experiences. For those of you who are new and have never engaged with Latinos for Education, Latinos for Education actually started as an organization that did professional development with educators. And we continue to do that work. We've expanded in other areas as well, like advocacy, but that continues to be part of the core of who we are as an organization. However, we know that the education ecosystem is changing. And we continue to agree and acknowledge that Latino students deserve systems that need to be designed for them, that are designed for belonging, for access, for opportunity, and success. We also know that leadership does not happen in isolation. And this is why Foundations was created. We wanted to provide leaders a space to reflect, to learn from a community, and to find a space where they can set the day-to-day life aside, step out of the norm, the day-to-day, and find a space where you can reflect and really think about what is possible in education. We want to spend some time critically analyzing the challenges that educators and students face today, but also use this as a space to feel inspired by others about what is possible for Latino students. And so that is the reason why we created Foundations. At its core, Foundations is a 6-week virtual leadership experience. And in this moment, in this time, again, participants will take time to reflect on identity, their values, their purpose, and their lived experience. We want you all to bring your lived experience into every session throughout our program and be able to use that as a base of who you are and how you lead. We'll also take time to examine systems and the conditions that are currently shaping the student experience. And we want to give you space to connect with educators across the country because we know that the experiences in one area differ from those in other parts of the country. But we, as Latino educators and as Latinos in education, navigate some parts of it in similar ways. And we wanted to also allow you the opportunity to engage in what we are calling a real challenge. We will not, in this fellowship, if you are familiar with our previous fellowships, we work on a problem of practice. In Foundations, we will not be working on a problem of practice, but we will be bringing in a challenge, something that we want you to continue to exploring, a challenge that is within your own context. That you want to continue exploring after the fellowship. Lastly, our fellowship kicks off in October and it runs for 6 weeks and it concludes on November the 12th. And I'll talk more about the dates later in the presentation. I'm going to hand it over to Elvira to tell us a little bit more about who and what the program will look like.
Thank you, Mara. Foundations is designed for educators and leaders that work across the education ecosystem. And so this includes classroom educators, paraprofessionals, folks that work in businesses that also support education, and also school level administrators, system level leaders, and district level leaders. And so with that, we really believe that the work that is ahead in education to really transform it needs many different roles that are represented. So we've also ensured that in this program, we include folks that wrap around the education sector, including higher education, nonprofits, community-based organizations, folks that do work in policy and advocacy and ed tech. At the core, what connects every participant is a commitment to Latino student success. And with foundations, just to share a little bit more about how this is different from some of the other programs that we have done, over the past decade, Latinos for Education has built experience in supporting education leaders in different ways. As we look ahead, we also recognize that the education ecosystem is rapidly changing, and so is also things that are happening outside of education. And the necessary skills and mindsets and relationships that leaders need to navigate that change are evolving too. So, as an organization, we took a step back and asked, what do education leaders need now, and what will they need to help shape the future of education? So, to answer that, we worked with a consulting partner to help us redesign our entire leadership framework. As alongside that, we also listened to our alumni from different programs that includes teachers, families, board program alumni, folks that did the Catalyst program, and also entrepreneurs. And we asked what they needed to continue growing and developing now and in the future. In addition, we engaged other partners across the education ecosystem and spoke with folks across the education field to better understand the challenges that leaders are navigating now. What are the capabilities that they need, and what do they want out of programs such as the ones that we do? So we also took that time to work with our partner org to look across various leadership development models and examine what the research shows and says of what works. And all of that together helped us identify 5 interconnected domains that now ground the foundation's experience. And I wanted to share that with you all too, to just share that it's listening to the community and building on what many different things we were looking at are telling us about what this moment and future needs to enact transformation in education. The first domain of this leadership framework is relational and cultural leadership. This centers on building trust, navigating diverse perspectives, and leading with cultural awareness and shared responsibility for collective positive impact. Systems leadership and change navigation is the second domain, and this is understanding how systems operate, navigating ambiguity, and identifying the opportunities to influence or redesign systems. The third is technology and future fluency, and this extends to not only understanding emerging technologies such as AI, but how to use them responsibly, how to be critical, and anticipate how they can shape the future of education. Civic and strategic leadership, understanding policy and public systems, communicating strategically, and knowing that we can just go further when we do things in partnerships with others to move that work forward. And so that's connected here. And learning design and innovation. This includes designing, improving learning experiences, pathways, and prototyping new approaches that respond to changing needs. The entire foundation's experience, it's 6 weeks, and there's 3 questions that really guide a lot of what the journey is for a participant. So each week, participants are going to move into a new module with a different theme or area of focus. And every module is going to connect back to one or more of these essential questions. The first part of the journey focuses on who are you as an education leader, and what in your story and the very different moments and experiences that you've had throughout your life that have prepared you to lead meaningful change in education, and not just lead any kind of change, but change that is rooted in purpose and impact. From there, the journey widens the lens to start looking at the conditions and the factors that are shaping Latino student belonging, access, opportunity, and success in your context. Participants then define a particular challenge in practice that is really speaking to you and motivating you to want to see a change in it. Through that, we're going to be examining the systems, the key decision makers, and also the power that is connected to it, and influencing these challenges, and the role that emerging technologies such as AI have to play in this. The final, or the sixth module, is bringing all the learnings together and creating a space for you to ask yourself, what am I ready to set in motion now? What do I still need in order to lead it? And what from this journey can I carry back to my own practice and share with others? So while every week of the program has a distinct focus, the experience is designed to build across the 6 weeks rather than feeling like separate sessions. Foundations will feel like a space where you can step outside the urgency of the day-to-day and reconnect with what brought you to this work in the first place. A space where your lived experience matters, where you do not have to leave parts of yourself at the door, where you can learn alongside people that are carrying different roles, different stories, and different perspectives, and invite those perspectives to push and pull on your own thinking, ultimately illuminating a deeper sense of clarity on the unique gifts that you bring to your leadership. The experience is designed to be rigorous, but also human and holistic, practical and also reflective. A place where your own context becomes part of the learning, and where you have room and support to slow down, to think beyond what exists today and imagine what could be possible for students, families, and communities. Each week is going to follow a particular rhythm. So we have, before a session, time to prepare. This is to think deeply and invite different ways of knowing. Engaging together during our live session time. This is space for us to do the things that we can only do when we are together. Learning is social, especially for us as human beings. And then after or in between sessions, time to integrate what we are learning and what we are challenging ourselves with when it comes to our mindsets, our skills, and the knowledge that we're gaining. The pre-work is going to include a variety of materials ranging from readings to videos to interactive exercises. The live sessions will include dialogue, frameworks, group reflection, and shared sense making. Between the sessions, participants will be supported with and invited to continue refining and integrating their learnings into their own challenge. And I'll turn it over to my colega, who will share a few more details about the logistics of Foundations.
Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. I added in the chat, if you are joining us and you haven't yet, please feel free to drop your name, where you are joining us from, and then in one word or phrase, describe what has brought you to today's session. And we will continue. Thank you so much, Elvira. We'll talk a little bit about the time commitment. I know Elvira talked about what the 6 weeks would look like, how we're envisioning the breakdown. But ultimately, we will be together from October 8th through November the 12th, and we would meet on Thursdays. I want to clarify here because I um, want to make sure that we are aligned on the times. These would happen in the evenings. This is one of the questions that we get often about the program. So sessions will be on Thursdays from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you are in Pacific West Coast Pacific Time, that is 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. And then Central Time, that is 6 p.m. Yes, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And the whole experience, we estimate that the whole experience will be between 25 to 30 hours. It's 100% virtual, and that is what makes this space really unique, that we'll have the opportunity to engage with educators from across the country. It is also self-paced learning in many ways. And as Elvira mentioned, the magic, the really incredible learning experience will happen when we are together. So because of that, because we only have 6 weeks together for a live session once a week, we do expect attendance and participation as best as possible. We understand that life happens and things happen, but we want people who are saying, yes, I can be there for the 6 weeks. So we'll continue. All right, in terms of cost and key dates, other very important information. So there is no required program fee for our program this time around in the fall because this is the first time that we are running this program. So because it is our inaugural cohort, this is offered at $0. And in return, though, we do ask participants to fully engage with us over the course of the 6 weeks and the learning experience. And we will obviously be asking you for your thoughts and your feedback because our goal is to always continue to strengthen the learning opportunities that we have for those we get to work with. The priority deadline is already this week, so August 23rd is the priority deadline. Those who submit before August 23rd will have the opportunity to be considered first, and you will also have the opportunity to matriculate and complete the application and finalize your acceptance before September the 13th. Our final deadline is September the 13th, and then we begin programming on October the 8th. We are looking for individuals who are committed to Latino student success, who are interested in leadership growth, who want to connect with other educators and broader the broader education ecosystem. Those who are interested and curious are interested in finding a space to reflect and also want to come in and lean in with curiosity. Somebody who perhaps is interested in exploring a real challenge or is already experiencing a real challenge or question, and you want to dive deeper into this with a community. If this is you, if you've been looking for the space, if everything we've talked about today is exactly why you are here today, you are really looking for a space where you can step away from the day-to-day, find a community who's positive, who's willing to reimagine and think about what is possible for Latino students, this is a space for you. We want to be in community with you. We want to learn from you. And we've been so intentional about designing this space with you, taking everything that we've heard from consultants, from our alumni, putting it very intentionally and thoughtfully into this new opportunity. So we will open up for questions. If you still have some questions, anything that you're holding, please feel free to share that. You may come off mute and we can answer those questions for you. Or you can drop them in the chat as well and we can answer that way. Yes, we will share the recording.
I had a quick comment or question. This is Pedro from Houston. Just wanted to know, will there be, Mara, will there be a go forward maybe after the program to take whatever we learn as a goal, maybe?
Yes. Let me see if I understood correctly. Is there another opportunity to continue engaging after the program experience? Yes, actually, so Foundations is the very first program learning experience from the new ecosystem that we are building. But right after, we will also kick off communities of practice. We'll have some communities of practice available this fall. And then we will continue another round of foundations in the springtime and along with other communities of practice and other programming that we have been working on. So yes, that is absolutely the goal. We definitely don't want people to leave and, we don't want it to be the one and done. We want people to come back to us. And we're super grateful for individuals like yourself who continue to come back to Latinos for Education and trust us in your journey. So thank you, Pedro. It's great to see you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mara, we have a few questions coming in. One I'm going to lift up is, what are the meeting times, if you can remind us again?
They are Thursdays starting October the 8th, and they will be from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
And I just dropped into the chat the landing page where you can see all the dates and the information about, well, that one doesn't have the information, but if you click on learn more, it'll give you access to like that one pager that has all the details. And Mara, I think you may also have the one pager.
I do have the one pager, yes, and I will drop it here in the chat in a second. I have another question that I'm gonna answer. It says, when would applicants know if they have been admitted to foundations? Our first deadline is August 23rd. So if you submit by the priority deadline, you would know within 2 weeks. We are actually expecting those people to accept or decline by September the 6th. And so if you apply after the September 13th deadline, if you apply before the 13th of September, then you would know within 2 weeks as well.
Thank you, Mara. And Mark also has a question. I invite you to come off mute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. This is my elevator pitch. So I've been involved in your program, but like honestly, thanks to you guys, I have grown. But what I realized is that it never stops. So I need to grow. So I want to engage because I've been in. I'm fortunate. No, it's a great honor. I become the guy, right? But I want to engage my community. I want to build more. So I'm involved in AI and IT and stuff, emerging technologies. But as you guys know, whatever we build today, it changes tomorrow. So I would love to be part of this because I want to engage more of my community, and that was my elevator pitch. So I'm sorry. So, I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's great to hear from you. We're excited. I know that we've been chatting as well. Those are the things that we really love to hear because it is something magical happens when you're in community with people who just have the perspective and the willingness to want to learn and grow from one another. And so I'm really happy that that's also been your experience, Mark. And we're really happy that you have submitted an application too. So thank you for that. And then one of the things that I was going to mention, I know that you mentioned something about you work in technology. That is part of the audience that Elvira mentioned earlier today. So thank you.
Thanks, Mara. And I think we're going to the more diverse the spaces, the richer the learning is because we get to hear from different perspectives and experiences and learn from each other. Nina has a question about whether the process includes interviews or only the application itself. It's only the application. And so this is where I really invite you to, we read everything in detail. And so we invite you to please share who you are, your thinking even in rough draft. Don't worry about polished perfection sentences. The application is meant for us to get to know a little more about what you're passionate about. Mara, if you want to add to it, and that's what we have. It won't be any interviews for this one.
Yeah, no, nothing to add. Thank you, Elvira. How many spots are available? Our goal is to have a well-rounded cohort of around 75 to 80 people. I would say that would be our goal.
And typically, our programs that we run like this, we usually have double the amount of applications. And so this is where I share that we're very intentional about selecting the cohort. And even if you're not accepted for this inaugural cohort, please don't let that be a reason to deter you from resubmitting again. It's just how we're also trying to design the experience, knowing that it isn't just what the program content is, but you yourself as a participant in the community brings your own wealth of knowledge to contribute, and how we put that cohort together really matters.
Yeah, thank you so much. I know Stephanie has a question. Stephanie, yes, you can come off mute.
Hi, I know I was part of the teacher program some years back.
Sí.
Yes, so I've recently moved from my leadership roles at Harmony, and I have come into an area that is 98% Hispanic, and I've taken on a leadership role again. And this cohort, will it allow us to tackle some of the things that we're seeing with these high populations of students who are Hispanic, and helping them get into better programs, or help them understand like they have this opportunity for these programs and how to help lead them into it? I have some students that don't speak a lot of English, but what they can speak, they're able. Like they're able and they're willing. I'm just trying to figure out how to get them into better programs, and then help the community understand these programs are available to your children.
I'll let Elvira jump in, and then I can add something else if needed.
I was going to say, I think that sounds like a great challenge in practice, which lets me also address, I was replying to Ruth's question about what's that real world challenge practice. Part of the experience is you also having space to think about the thing that energizes you the most, like your life force, this is the thing that your heart always turns to, your mind. What is that in a place where you can align your gifts, your passions to a real challenge that you have and that you're facing or seeing in the education system, and receiving then the support to bring your recommendations or your ideas, your prototyping of what to do to life with a community that supports you in thought partnering, and then also holding up a mirror for you to think about your challenge in different ways. We will give some recommendations, as we already know, even in the research and in a lot of the programs, that if you've been in them with us, there's a lot of challenges facing Latino students, and even more so now. And so there will be some categories that are provided for you to even think through, whether, like Mark was thinking, maybe his whole real focus and passion really lies with emerging technologies, or perhaps you're very passionate about bilingual education and challenges that multilingual learners face. Or perhaps kids that are differently abled, special education students that are neurodivergent. Maybe that's like your place, and you have a place to work in there. So we will also create groupings based on commonalities in identified challenges in practice, and also don't want to limit you to those. And so you will have the chance to do, maybe none of those work for you, and you have almost like a choose your own adventure challenge in practice, and that's welcome as well.
Yeah, the other thing that I would add is that the difference between, the fellowship that you completed with the Latinx Teacher Fellowship and then this fellowship is that This is more focused on frameworks that allow you to evaluate how your experiences, how your identity shape the leader that you are today. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of that self-discovery and self-reflection. And the biggest opportunity is the ability to be able to hear from other leaders from across the country that are probably facing those similar challenges and have found other ways to be able to provide those resources for those students and families as well. So I absolutely think it is a great space for you, Stephanie, especially as you're stepping into this new milestone within your work and your career as well. Felicidades. And we hope to see your application come through. Let's see, making sure I didn't miss any other questions.
I think, Mara, just as a note while you're looking at the questions, I was privileged enough to be in the Latino Board Fellowship some years back. And some of the things that I've learned is even if you don't have a focus or somewhere to go, you learn from the team. You learn from the people, the colleagues, your participants in the program.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Those relationships are so essential. Thank you for sharing that, Pedro. Absolutely. Okay. Yes, Veronica. Hi, Veronica.
Hi, Mara. I was trying to come off of mute. I wanted to just kind of add to what Stephanie said. I really like her observation about the need for the connecting with resources, because I think isolation is isolation, imposter syndrome, all of that kind of impacts the decisions that and the risks that the people can, a lot of Latinos will make or not make. So I think knowing, I've always been a big proponent of knowing what your resources are as a part of connecting and feeling, understanding that you're never alone. There's always others out there who have either already gone through what you have or who have information to help you. And I think maybe it was Pedro who just mentioned how we get so much out of just this community and just discussing in a group, and both you and Elvira have also mentioned that. So I think that if parents, in our case, we're talking about, Latino families, and if they can understand that power and really just kind of feel it and understand, oh, I'm not alone, and I can get stronger, and I can access what I need, and then have that reflect onto their children from a very young age, or at any age, but especially, the earlier the better. So I just wanted to kind of add to, I'm glad that Stephanie brought that up. So, and thank you all for all those great points and the great questions, because a lot of the questions that are being asked, I'm like, okay, great. I didn't have to ask that one now.
Thank you so much, Veronica. Okay. I don't see any more questions in the chat, but if you have any others and you didn't get the chance to ask, feel free to email me, ask me any questions that you may have after our conversation. We will also send out this video recording to everybody who registered. And my email is in the screen, mara@latinosforeducation.org. If you know somebody who you want to bring to this learning experience with you, send them the link, nominate them, or pressure them to apply as well. But apply. We would love to see your application come through, and we want to be in community with you, and we want to learn from you. So thank you all so much for being here today. Reach out. Let us know if you have any other questions.
Mara,
Si
before,
no, sí, great.
tenía una pregunta. It's not necessarily a bad thing si más de una persona de la misma escuela aplica? No, okay.
No, yeah, we actually encourage that. I think it would be great if we had a small group of individuals who want to learn together and then apply some of these things in their campus or district. Yeah, thank you, Ruth, for asking. Okay. Bueno, muchísimas gracias a todos. Wishing everybody a wonderful evening and looking forward to staying connected with all of you. Nos vemos.
Thank you.
Hasta luego, hasta luego.